This is lesson 19-5, frequency tables and histograms. Our essential question, how can you make and use a frequency table? And you can see from this example, here's the table, and here is the histogram, which I'm sure you can tell looks very similar to a bar graph. 2 vocab words. Frequency table shows the number of times a data value or range of values occurs in the data set. And a histogram is a graph that uses bars to show the frequency of equal ranges or groups of data. We have example 1. A toy store owner asked the ages of each child who came into his store one day. The ages of the children were 12, 8, 3, 5, 10, 13, 11, 7, 6, 9, 6, 19, 12, 7, and 6. We're going to complete a frequency table for this data. So I kind of already set it up for us. I decided to make my ages. Now, I don't want to plot every single one of those points. That would be a lot to do. So what we do is we kind of make groups. So I grouped the ages 3 to 5. So any kids that are between 3 and 5, so that would be 3, 4, and 5, would all get put together in this group. Then ages 6 to 8, ages 9 to 11, and ages 12 to 14. So let's go ahead and find all the kids ages 3 to 5. I see 1, 2, 3, and that looks like all. So I'm going to make 3 tally marks for the 3 children that are between the ages of 3 and 5. So our frequency is 3 children. Now let's go ahead and look for kids between the ages of 6 and 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's make 6 tallies. And the number is 6. Now we're looking for kids 9 to 11. That means 9, 10, and 11. We have 1, 2, 3. So 3 tally marks, and the frequency is 3. And our last age group is 12 to 14-year-olds. So we have 12, 13, and another 12-year-old. So again, there's 3 of them. So the frequency is 3. Now this number, we only had one left over, which was 19, which would be an outlier, like we talked about before. Example 2, what is the range of ages of the children? So very similar to what we did before, we're still talking about a toy store and kids that are coming into the toy store. So here are all the ages of the children. We want to know the youngest, the oldest, and the range. We just learned about the range. So hopefully you remember that. It looks like our youngest visitor was 3 years old, because as I'm looking at all these numbers, I don't see anybody who was younger than 3. So the youngest child is 3. Now looking at all the numbers again, it looks like the oldest child is 13, because I don't see any numbers higher than 13. Now remember, the range takes the biggest number and subtracts the smallest number. So the range equals 10. Example 3, we're going to take the ages of children again and create a histogram this time. And again, I kind of set it up for us. I put the ages of the children at the bottom and our number on the side. So that means how many of them. And I broke it up again, ages 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 11, and 12 to 14. That's how we do it in histograms. We make groups. So let's see how many children are between the ages of 3 and 5. We have 1, 2, 3, and it looks like that is it. So I'm going to make my bar go up to the 3, which is right between 2 and 4. Now let's look for the children between 6 and 8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to make that bar go up to 6. Now we're looking for children between the ages of 9 to 11. So far we have 3, and looks like we have 4 of them. So that bar graph will go up to 4. And lastly, we have children 12 to 14. 1, 2, 3. So that one's going to go between the 2 and the 4 again. And typically you'll see histograms with all the bars touching, so I could have made my bars bigger so that they would be touching. But basically it's just like making a bar graph, but instead of doing every number individually, you make groups of them. And those 3 examples covered everything that we need to know for this lesson. So you have 2 practice problems. The first one, you're going to make a table like we did in example number 1, so go back and look at that if you need help. And number 2, you're going to create a histogram. So go back to example number 3 if you need to see how to do that. Don't forget a word problem or question, and rate your understanding.